All right. Welcome to the Shop Class Podcast. Okay, it's a freestyle night. We don't have a topic. We also don't have a guest. So what we're going to do instead is just we're going to talk to the shop teachers, whoever joins us tonight. And so far we got two good people with two good stories going on. We got Nick, upstate New York. He is actually going to make the trade. He's selling a vehicle through the Shop Class Podcast to another guest that we had on last week. Barbercheck is going to give us an update on the capable maker. Barbercheck from the UP. So so we're going to get this. All right. So let's get to this car story for a second. So last week on the Shop Class Podcast, we had what's his name? Oh my God.
Vinny.
Vincent. Yeah. Vincent. He has and if you didn't see that video, it was really good. That's actually a really good one. It was about how he turned an Airstream trailer into a coffee shop. So I'll pull that up. And while we were talking about it, we discovered that he actually wants a van, and then Nick has a van. So Nick's going to pull it up. Nick, you showed photos last time. That was good.
Well, I have photos on my Instagram, so if you want to pull my Instagram.
Yeah. That's actually perfect.
And then I'll share my screen for the, anvil pictures that he sent me.
All right. Oh, okay. All right. Tech Ed Fireman. All right, here we go. All right. This is it. This pile of junk right here. Now, does it run?
It did when I last put it there.
All right. Okay. So now I understand. We're not going to we won't say the price out loud here, but now I understand. But I will tell you, this guy's getting a deal because this is it's in good shape, man. Unless it's all rusted out on the bottom. I don't know.
That's the thing. It's not that bad, frame wise.
Okay.
But, the way he talked, it sounded like he was gonna take this just like he did the Airstream, lift it up, and and put a whole new chassis in, from a newer Chevy or whatever.
That's great. I mean, if he's capable of doing that, you should have seen what happened last time. He this is the podcast. I'm going to turn the sound off because otherwise you get a copyright strike. I don't know if that's how it works, but anyway. So he showed us exactly what he did. He actually used a tree as part of his hoist. Right there. Yeah. And there it is. He took the body off the frame. They reinforced it. There's his girlfriend helping out. And it's a pretty cool thing. And then he put a battery. That was a significant thing. Put a battery instead of a generator. And so because of that, you're off the grid. And that's pretty unique. So now it's quiet. And he got his friends help out and whatnot. And then because of this, he got invited. I don't know if he's going, but he got invited to, there's a National Electric Drive Day coming up. And I think it's actually 2 weeks from now. I'm not sure. Not this week, but the next. I'm not sure. So anyway, yeah, that'd be cool. Imagine if this works out. Oh my God, that's awesome. Let's see. So yeah, I wish I had the space. I would grab this too because I want to make a mobile maker space, but I just don't. One thing at a time. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's he gonna send you? An anvil?
Yeah. He has a 170-pound Benton anvil with a stand.
All right.
So we'll see.
All right.
I sent him an email, so we'll see what happens. So we're still in the work. Not a done deal per se, but
yeah, pretty cool. It's cool, man. I mean, recycling these old trucks into a food truck, a coffee truck. That's pretty cool. Very shop class, project DIY. All right, and before we move on to Barbercheck, how's your year going?
Going. I mean, we're full in person, and we've had a few kids already out for extended amount of time.
Oh yeah, for the vid.
Yeah, so
For the Coronza.
I don't know. We'll
You
see what
can't say
happens.
it out loud. I think YouTube doesn't like it or something. I don't know. Barbercheck, are you back in person?
Yeah, we're back in person. But man, it's hard to say that even because the absentee rate's so high.
Is it really?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say we're building wide 25% absent every day.
Oh, get out of here! Really?
Yeah.
That's so funny. We're like full on. We have. I mean, yeah. I got a couple of emails saying that one or two kids won't be in, but it's not 25%.
Yeah, that's where we're at, about 25%.
Oh, wow.
So,
is that by choice or is that because they got a quarantine?
It's a mixture of a lot of things. So some of it's just they got symptoms, right? And so they're supposed to, or they were, next to a positive.
Yeah.
Some of it is, parents got hesitant, when as our area has been spiking lately.
Oh wow.
So they didn't want to send their kids, and then some of it is normal absenteeism. You're right, like just in general, I would say it seemed like we had a higher than normal absentee rate, but I'm sure every teacher says that. So then on top of that, so it's a multiple of variables. We're mask optional right now, although tomorrow that changes for K through 6 have to start masking up.
Oh, mask optional?
Yeah, we're mask optional.
Oh, we are mandatory mask.
Well, and tomorrow we switch K through 6 have to be mandatory, which is weird because I teach a class with 6th through 8th graders in it. So technically, like some of my 6th graders will be like required to wear it, but my 8th graders don't because they're only doing K through 6 is mandatory.
Oh wow!
And that's a county thing. That's the county decided that because they're like, hey, we gotta have a hospital. So
yeah, I understand. Yeah, so we have a mandatory mask thing. It's going okay as far as like, I don't know. It's you forget the mask is there after a while. Barbercheck.
What's up?
Do you want to give us a capable maker update?
Sure. So
all right, this will be good.
Capable Maker is a platform I'm working on that is similar to maybe an Instructables website, or I've seen some cooking programs that do this, where you can input your equipment that you have access to, or maybe the equipment that a student is safety certified on.
I'm going to pull it up.
And it'll bring up projects based off that search criteria, that filter. So it'll filter projects by tool availability. And then there's another layer you can turn on, which is by prerequisites. And so the educator can go in and they can define their prerequisites to unlock a certain project. So the idea here is to create a platform that will house projects for teachers that they can distribute to their students. It'll warehouse the projects for the students, and it'll hit the students with a project that is well matched to their proficiencies and to the actual lab that they have access to. Because one of the problems is you send your students onto Instructables, and they will find like the one 3D printing project that requires like nylon filament, and you don't have it. And so in this way, it just puts up blinders to some of the things that aren't really like feasible in your environment or your with your particular audience. That way, students are able to complete a project that's like in what I call their Goldilocks zone. It's not too hard, not too easy. It's just right. But not only is it in their Goldilocks zone, it's also in within the capabilities of the instructor and the lab environment as well.
I'm going to log in. Maybe we could get into it.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it won't look too much different than the last time we saw it.
Okay.
But one of the things I kind of wanted to hash out is because what I'm going to do this next week is kind of wrap up some data collection I've been doing on the project with different beta testers and whatnot.
Okay.
And then I'm going to go ahead and focus on, find the next biggest ticket item based off the conversations I've been having about it, and repropose an investment from Harbor Freight Tools for Schools, who has been sponsoring it up to this point, and say here's the next bite we need to take, and if they like what we've done so far and they like the idea of the bite that I propose, then they'll give me more funding and we can take that bite. Together. And so
yeah.
From what I'm hearing right now, the main thing that educators want when they stumble across this platform and start dabbling with it is they want like a project warehouse, even more so than like the filter capabilities. So that kind of surprised me because, and it's not a large data set that I'm working with here, but it surprised me just because it's like there are lots of project warehouses out there. Any woodworking magazine is a project warehouse. Any Google search counts as a project warehouse. But I think the issue is those project warehouses aren't full of inventory that's curated or created for your situation. And so this will help kind of make sure that it's a project warehouse that works for you.
All right, so let's do this. I'm going to log in because maybe someone hasn't seen the previous episode where we covered it.
Sure.
And then this is also kind of updated. It's been a month or two, so the way we tore around it might be a little different.
Maybe I can't remember.
Okay, that's all right. Also, say hi to Timmy.
What's up, Ron? Matthew, Nicholas, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey, so I just want to piggyback on what Barbercheck was saying in regards to that. Yes, a project warehouse like Google or Woodworking Magazine or any of those are great, but they're not teacher focused. So, for example, like if I'm looking for a project idea, say for example, I want to make a footstool. Okay, now I can Google and find 8,000 footstools. But I need to find a footstool that would work with a certain ability level. Like, for example, do I have a novice crew or do I have more of an advanced crew? Because that's really going to make a difference in which project I pick. Totally. And I think what Barbercheck's hitting on, or what these other people are hitting on, is that you need to look at ability level and what works with kids in a classroom, because every wood magazine project works with kids in a classroom. And I found that. Because that's what I do. So I agree with what he's saying, and I agree with what everybody else is saying.
Yeah, and I like your footstool example because you can make those projects work, but sometimes I'll be honest, a lot of the fine woodworking I would argue is written at a collegiate level. You read an article from Fine Woodworking, it's a pretty advanced level that they're writing at. I've never ran one of those reading level tests on it, but when you try and hand that to some of your students who require accommodations or a ninth grade student, sometimes it goes over their head. Now, that's not to say the project's not a bad project for them, but I think you guys are seeing, and I'm seeing, students are becoming quicker judges of information, for better or worse. And so if you hand them a very wordy article for something that could be a simple footstool, they almost disregard it. It's like, no, I'm not going to read all those words to build a footstool. And
right.
And I'm not saying we should take and I think they're doing that in part because they know it may not be necessary, or it is too, like, we all have a threshold where we're intimidated and overwhelmed by. So like we all do as good teachers, try and reach them where they're at. So if you change that footstool plan so that it only uses half-inch increments or something, you know what I mean? So your addition and your joinery and your subtract, you know, it only uses pocket screw joints because you have a new audience. Or you go ahead and say, hey, let's crank up the difficulty on this, and now it requires dovetail joinery. But it's a similar project. You as the material supplier are prepped with a stuff, like this is like a few phases down the road. But even if it's just the same project, you know, at least you still are ballpark with the same amount of wood you need, the same, you know, different types. It can kind of streamline and systemize things without turning it all into a cookie cutter, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it is one of those things where, you know, I run into the situation like when I was running that summer program this past summer was an enrichment program. I had no idea what the ability level would be coming into it. So I had to look at, number one, I looked at kids' transcripts, and I had the flexibility of doing that because of being in the school. Now, if it's a summer camp that's not school related, I don't have a transcript that they can look at. So I don't have that background information. But what I ended up doing was looking at the kids' transcripts and saying, hey, none of these students have any ability level. Okay, they have no experience in terms of, I think ability level is wrong, but they have no experience with tools and machines. So the footstool project that I wanted to do may not be feasible. Okay, so that was where I ended up being, and that's how I ended up coming up with the project idea. So I think having a project database that is, you know, flexible, if you will, where you can ramp it up or bring it down is important.
Yeah, I mean, that's
for sure.
One of the main endings. It'll be sweet when we get it to happen, and then the filtration of the projects is most of the wants as well. So project warehouse and being able to filter it, and then cloud collaborations, one of the top ones. But I'm not sure if we'll knock this out in this next go around or not. But
yeah, like
I'm excited because it is tough to. We all pivot to our audience when we need to, but the idea here is basically can I keep a shop teacher from feeling completely brain fried by Friday?
Yeah, totally. You know, I start out the year with, like, believe it or not, just a paper project. We do a strength to weight, and maybe I could write that one up and put it in here. Because if you think about it, like, you know, you're starting out with people that don't know how to use any of the tools, and they don't even understand strength to weight ratio. Like, they don't care that something is efficient. They just want power, you know, like bigger is better. But, you know, like, so they got to learn the delicacy of, or what, I don't know how to say it, but the fine details are important. So I just assume everybody's skillless and doesn't know how to use any tools. So I start out with paper so they can understand. So we do a project where we go, fold the paper and hold a 200 gram weight. It's similar to a cell phone. 200 gram weight. If you could go, let's say 2 inches horizontally and hold it with one hand, doesn't matter how much paper you use. Let's say it's 2 inches you've gotten successfully. Then you have to measure that and take a photo. Then put it on a gram scale and figure out how much your paper weighs. If your paper is 2 grams, then it's a 1 inch to 1 gram ratio, which is actually pretty good. But what the kids automatically do is they say, I'm going to add a lot of paper. I'm going to add a lot of paper. I'm going to add a lot of paper. And I'm going somewhere with the story. But anyway, so it's about saving material because you're going to add paper. So they make it 10 inches. They go, look at that. I used cardboard. It's heavier, you know, and now it goes 10 inches. But now it weighs 40 grams. So I don't know what your ratio is, but it's not good, you know? And so they quickly realized, oh, less is more. And so through that project, which would be on your, if we go back to your skill list, where would I put that? Like, how would I filter that so that where would that be a suggestion? Because I want every shop teacher, not everybody, I would want to give that as a gift to all the shop teachers out there that have kids wasting material because they don't understand the value of it. Where would I put that?
So if you wanted to upload that project right now, you could upload it for your account and it would show up just for you. We don't have any cloud functionality. What we're looking at is like the minimum viable product, and cloud functionality is kind of like one of those stepping stones you take once there's like it's a later phase commitment, right? Because it's monthly. Clouds require activity for them to be worth it, and so you could, for now, upload it directly for you. Now, I have an administrator account. I guess I could do this as well as give a few, because that's one of the next phases, or the next question then to answer is, how do we source projects sustainably, easily, and affordably? And so I could, I guess, create multiple administrator accounts where we could send projects to those people, and projects like, or you, Ron, you could send your project to me and I could upload it. And then right now it's such a minimum viable product that you would have to create a new account to get the latest update on Capable Maker. But if we can get past that phase, then yeah, we would source some, and I want to be careful that we get a decent standard quality project up there, because you know, we've all had the student who found something on Pinterest or whatever, and it's a cool picture of a cool concept, but there's not a lot of like plan there. And I like Tim's point about there are warehouses, but they're not teacher written with a teacher intent audience in mind, or they're not teacher centered.
This is true.
And so I want to, like, that's the purpose of this, is to serve an educator in a role where they're working with a potentially mysterious audience. And so they might start with cardboard, or they might found out that, holy crap, you guys all had engineering 2 last year with Mr. Teacher of the Year, like, and he already ran this project or something similar with you, or might not engage you as much. So let's crank up that dial, and boom, it's curated for you. You don't have to decide or use all the creativity. Obviously, you still will. Every shop teacher, I don't think, follows the recipe directly. I think we all like to add our own ingredients. But
well, that was kind of like what I ended up doing to start the school year in my civil engineering class. And I was looking for like a quick 2-day activity that used toothpicks. And, you know, I Googled stuff and looked, and I ended up finding, like, you know, the traditional spaghetti and gumdrop structure type things. Now I'm thinking to myself, well, I don't have spaghetti. I'm not going out to go buy spaghetti, and I'm not going out to go buy gumdrops. So I said, well, I have toothpicks at school. Let's use hot glue and toothpicks. And I told the kids that they had to hold up as many books as they can, and a toothpick's like 2 7/8 tall-ish. And I said, your structure had to be 3 1/4 inches over the tabletop. So it forced them to not just use one toothpick. They had to find a way to join and maximize the materials to get that extra height. So it was like I modified a teacher project, if you will, but more or less using, you know, materials such as hot glue and toothpicks.
Right.
You were limited.
Change the scenario.
Yeah, you're limited, and you made it work. And then I guess, am I right? The goal of Capable Maker is, hey, what's your limit? And here's some stuff that other people recommend, or here's a couple of choices you could try with the limits you have.
Totally. It's an assist to say, these are work within. If you don't want to make this decision right now, or you're creatively fatigued, here's some options you can utilize. Or if you're feeling wild, here's some inspiration. To answer like your question, Ron, on that project. So like you could upload that project if you go to my projects or something like that. And then when you upload it, so let's see here. Yeah, go to.
So right now it's not going to be shared in the cloud with everyone, but it will later. Maybe that's the idea.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Like some cloud functionality. Again, I'm kind of like trying to decide how to handle the standard of quality issue, because once you open up cloud functionality, you're subject to spam, right? So I'm just trying to.
Or you could have a vote up system, just like like a
totally.
social media. But I understand it's a chicken or the egg. Like, so if you pay for the cloud and then this doesn't work out, you're blowing through a bunch of money. I totally get it. So right now you're doing it manually.
Yeah, and the vote up system requires a certain level of engagement for it to be reliable. So it's all stepping stones. But if you go to projects,
projects, okay,
and then you go to add, you can.
Look at that.
Here. And so
tools required.
You say these are the tools required. On the right hand side, you can say this is the badge you have to have earned. If you want it to. And then you can write your own badges as well. So you can say you don't move on cardboard until you've earned your measuring and layout badge.
Can we add? So for mine, you need a gram scale and you need a predetermined weight, which is easy to steal from the physics department. There's a benefit of a faculty meeting, which I rarely pay attention at. And I was in the back of the physics lab and I saw they have these predetermined weights, which are amazing. And they do actually, it's stamped right on there, 200 grams. And I tested it and it comes out 200 grams. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I was like, this is great. So I grabbed the rack, took them with me. I was like, this is awesome.
Mine now.
Yeah, they're not using them. And if they are, mine's more important anyway. I'll bring them back. Oh, and so then I had a kit
tools if you want. You can you can add those tools as well to your personal.
So where do you add the tools?
Sure, go to tools.
Oh yeah,
right there, blue button.
Add a new tool. Oh yeah, I'm gonna add in a gram scale.
Yeah, go for it.
Because I use it in my flashlight project too.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right. This is cool. Oh, hey, Duke's in the house. All right. That sounds great. Okay, now let me just share with you something that Matt Bloomquist was doing. And I don't know if he's listening, but he's there.
I'm responding back to some messages, but yeah, I'm here.
That's okay. All right, so here is his kids doing like it's half. I'm gonna speak for him for just a second. This looks like skills, but also competition. Like this brings out the competitive nature in the kids, and this is to see if they can actually nail something together. So before they go and smash up the house, I'm assuming this. I've made this completely up in my head. I don't know. Okay, he gives the thumbs up. All right, so this is what's going on. This is the don't mess up the house, mess up the 2x4 outside for fun lesson. And, that's why I do what?
It's the hammer challenge.
Hammer challenge. So you got to try and get it down in one shot, right?
Yeah. The game's called Hammerschlagen. It's a German bar game. We just take away the bar and put it on the job site.
Oh,
so the goal is you line up the nails. Each person gets one swing each turn, and the goal is to sink the nail below, flush with the wood, and infuse hits. The real game is played with big old nails and like in a sledgehammer.
Oh wow. Okay. And I can see this is so what's good about imagine this was on the Capable Maker. I don't know if this is what Barbercheck had in mind, but these are the things you could do. Like, oh, you got a piece of wood, you got nails, a hammer, and you got kids that have little to no experience. So it's like, okay, cool, do this one.
Right. Or team building. Maybe you're searching by team building as well. There you go.
Right. You know, minimal set of tools.
It's pretty diverse. And then so the trick is just like, how do you filter these projects based off constraints that teachers are thinking about first, you know? And it'll be really exciting to get something. I'm confident we can get something to work like that, where this activity comes up, a flashlight activity comes up, or a step stool comes up. Obviously it won't happen fast enough because like we needed this yesterday.
Oh, finally down. This is great. I like it because it's competitive. But yeah, so that's the idea with the capable maker. You're getting yourself, you're using the stuff you got in the time you have. And it's actually got time sensitive stuff too, right? So if you go here, you could go to project length.
Yeah, and that's a tough one for me to figure out just because it's like time is so arbitrary. Like what's that say? 45 classes?
Yeah.
Well, what's a class? Is a class a 45-minute period, 60, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then your students are all over the place. So that's one that component there, I'm excited for hopefully getting this to a point where students kind of like update, hey, it took me this long. And then you can average that. So then it's like real, it's not just some teacher taking guesswork. It's like, well, the last 5 students who completed this project were able to do it in a sum total of 120 minutes, class minutes, or whatever it is. That'd be pretty cool. And then if they could post like a picture that shows their, project and,
I do see you got it. It's actually clever. When it's on 0, it kind of goes to that it's not a restriction.
I didn't even fully realize that. So that is
it's if you go to 1, search, and then it's very restricted. There's only one thing here. And then if you go to 0, it puts everything back as if you got the full. And that makes sense because it's set to 0 when you first start out. So, and then if you say, all right, well, all we got is a bandsaw, well, then that's it. You're making this.
Yeah. Right now, I just got some placeholder stuff up where it's like just to test out the system. But any one of you could actually create your account and like upload all of your own stuff in there right now.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest drawback, I think, from it like being fully functional as is like there's no student interface. So honestly, I think I could leave it as is, not have the cloud feature, not have the collaboration features, and maybe not even have the project warehouse. And I think if there was just a student interaction where students could go in and they could see the badges they have, they could see what projects those unlock that the teachers have uploaded, then that would be a usable product as well. Now, my goal is to knock out both objectives right now. And that's kind of why I had some of the conversations I had to try and figure out which was priority. And it sounds like Project Warehouse student interaction wasn't as high priority as I thought it would be.
What's the #1 feedback you got?
Project Warehouse and Project Filter are the top ones. And then as far as what I did is just had people rank, here are your options from most useful to least useful. What do you think? And a lot of you guys in here, I think everyone in here had filled that form out at one point. And then kind of in the least useful was like a shop management component. I mean, not to say that wouldn't be useful, but that's kind of what people, because I pigeonholed people into ranking everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they ended up ranking the least. And my goal is to achieve all of it eventually. But you go after the, closest carrot, I guess, whatever I'm trying to say here. The biggest impact. And from what I'm hearing is just getting a good project warehouse out to people will get the biggest impact. So
yeah, and like Tim said, these projects will be tailored towards the shop teacher or shop classes, whereas a lot of the stuff you see online is not exactly driven towards, like you said, like a shop teacher.
They're either trying to get you to buy a tool, or they are to the hobbyist who's already dedicated and invested and knows how to read a tape measure. And what I might do starting out is just reach out to some content creators who do kind of hit the youth market pretty well, and see if I can just at least house their content kind of in exchange for recognition, without advertisements or access to more paid content. Because that's the other thing too, is when you find this stuff, it's not a distraction-free environment that students are able to find these projects. I mean, we're basically sending them into the World Wide Web. And then if they do find something that's of interest, if it happens to be of quality, you're still competing with like all the sidebars of advertisements and all the click out links and all the rabbit holes they can go down. And so in this situation, if I can house some of that content and just say, hey, I'll house it for name recognition, it's going to go to youth, and teachers will be able to use it without all the distractions, you know what I mean? And that's part of one of the ideas I have for like starting to source it out.
I get distracted easily.
Oh, it's so easy. I can't blame anyone. I mean, that is what the sidebars are designed to do, like distract you, right? And then we put a 14-year-old on there and like, why are you getting distracted? It's like, well,
Duke, what do you think, man?
Man, I just need some time to get on this website. Like, it's on one of my tabs, but I must have like 30 windows open and 30 tabs on top of that.
Totally get it, Duke. Totally understand. No pressure, because, and part of the reason I haven't been pushing this super heavy yet and really keeping it a pretty tight audience is because I realize teachers, like, this is how many ed tech emails do you have in your inbox right now? You know, teachers have been flooded with one more thing, one more Flipgrid, one more Zoom, one more Loom, one more, you know, and it's like, we're not there yet. So don't feel pressured. You got to like test it out or anything. It may not bring you much value. If it happens to bring you value as is, that would be very meaningful feedback.
Yeah, but how often do you search for projects for your shop? And like, what words do you put in there? Like middle school technology education. So then you find the educational technology project. So it has nothing to do with it. Middle school industrial arts. Then that's a whole nother topic. You really don't find anything with that. You have to look for like middle school industrial technology. So I'm sure there's other shop teachers that are middle school tech ed, tech engineering looking for projects. So this is the perfect site. And I have middle school stuff. I have lesson plans on top of lesson plans because one of my principals was a lesson plan Nazi. But I just got to get on there and, you know, upload it to the site, check out the site, and put some projects on there. But like, look at CO2 Dragster, you'll get some decent designs for that on there. But like creative plans with like a variety of materials,
yeah,
that's tough.
Yeah. And even like you get on like some website like Teachers Hate Teachers, and our audience is just gone from that. Like there's some stuff on there, but the real project-based, shop-based audience is pretty much excluded from a lot of these platforms. And so this platform would kind of hope to fill that niche for all the things you're saying, all the reasons you're saying.
Yeah, this is so like even here, I'm looking through all this stuff. There's no.
It's like a Pitsco catalog right there.
Yeah, like this is popsicle stick land.
Yes.
Here, mousetrap vehicle. I mean, that's a good one.
Oh, I can't stand that one.
But you need the mouse traps. Like you need all this. You need the solar panels. You need the CO2 car blinks. What can you make with just wood, metal, plastic?
What you have on hand, because your boss won't give you a budget and you can't come, you know, you don't know that you can go buy this. You don't know you can buy that. And then the day before you think you can, they tell you no. So then you have to change and pivot again. And my whole thing, like I go home all the time on a Friday or whatever, and I swear I forget my own middle name. Like you're just that brain fried. And I feel like I'm very passionate about this project because I look at like we've all had that experience of like, I could have done more for that kid, or there was a kid I didn't, we missed his ceiling or her ceiling, but you did your best. Like, we've all had that feeling where it's like, yeah, I missed that ceiling, but I really did that best, like the best that I could. But it's still not easy pill to swallow. And so when I see that and I look at like how passionate all of you guys are, the fact that I know you've had that experience without even having to really talk to you about that, where you've thought like, ooh, I missed a ceiling I could have gotten if I had just had that answer about my budget, if I had just had the ability to buy that metal that he needed or she needed, if I just had. And so I look at that as like, there's systemic environmental issues like holding us back. And can I make a tool that will alleviate some of that problem, that problem case there, so those problems are solved, freeing up your headspace to decide, make better decisions about how you can like get that kid's ceiling? Because I've just seen too many ceilings missed, and it's not the teacher's fault, it's not the student's fault, it's just the crazy setup they've given us. And this is the only way I've come to think of so far that could hopefully help alleviate that.
Yeah. Now, when you say ceiling, you mean like you just missed the mark with the kid. You could have done more, but you didn't have enough resources. And
yes, yeah, you know what I'm saying, Ron?
Yeah. So like, here's the situation. Like Duke said, hey, try and search up projects because that's what you do. Okay, great. Is this a middle school project, or is this like something a librarian could do? Like, this is not. There's no tools in this picture except for scissors. So yeah, I get it. And this is someone's website. Like, it's good. Here's technology education.
They'll also give them some of the worst tools for kids to use, middle school kids: a hot glue gun and an X-Acto knife.
Well, and the other issue with that too is like that. Well, I don't know what that project was, but let's just say we find a good project on there.
That was straw rockets, because I've done that project at a high school level, and I had some pretty good success with that. If I remember, I only did it once, and it was like I said, it was pretty good. So I mean, I'm sure I could have ramped it up, but for high school level. But I kind of just was flipping through the Pittsco catalog one day and said, "Hey, that's pretty cool. Let's try it." So I bought the stuff and I tried it. And then I found out that the straws you can only buy from Pittsco because of the diameter of the rocket launcher. That diameter would only fit on their launcher, and you couldn't find that diameter straw from anywhere else.
Oh,
they got you.
Yeah.
Here's the rubber band car. Serious rubber band car. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of, right. Like, what if you do have table saw? What if you do have something else? It's hard to go through all this stuff.
Totally.
Here's
and it's
interest.
We've all done that too. We've all just fallen down this rabbit hole for hours at a time. And so hopefully this would, through both a quality standpoint and a curating standpoint, keep us.
I don't even know what this is. This is create a visual poem.
Well, and you're right, Duke, with the sense that like you got
the hell is this?
Tech, you got vocational, you know what I mean? And then is it woods based, metals based, cardboard based, and yeah, middle school industrial is like you could be working with Raspberry Pis and Arduino boards. You could be working with CO2 dragsters, or you could be welding. Like I've seen middle school programs that weld. So it's just the breadth of it's nuts. It's a crazy breadth of topics that you could fall into. And I run into a lot of multi-skilled students in one audience because I teach in a small school, and I know that these circumstances aren't exclusive to me from having conversations like this to other shop teachers. Is like in my class, I actually literally have the potential to have a student that I've taught for 6 years. Right now, there's a student in my class. I've taught him 6 years in a row from 6th through 12th grade. And this isn't happening, but I could have, and I've had situations that are close to this, a ninth grade student in that same room who has never touched a drill. And so you can't just teach to the middle, because you're going to understimulate your advanced student and overstimulate your new student. And so and you can partner them. People are like, oh, we'll just pair them up. Well, my school is so small. They're around the same kids all the time, all day, every day, to the point where they kind of get sick of each other. And that dynamic just expires after a certain point. Like, they catch on. You're kind of using me. I'm tired of helping this student. I really want to do my own thing. You know, like, can I do my own thing, please? They start to catch on to that. So that's a card you can play, but it does have an expiration date, and you have to use it with tact, because you'll burn a kid out. And so and then at the same time, I can't just like how do you teach when you have a range like that? You can't have everyone doing the same thing. It would just
yeah, it's tough. It's tough because I teach the high school, but sometimes I get freshmen. My ninth period's a freshman, and they don't know how to read a ruler.
Yeah,
which is crazy to me. I don't know what they're doing in middle school.
Oh yeah.
Well,
we need a tech. We don't have tech ed in middle school in my district. We need.
No, that's it. Part of the problem.
We need Duke in the house. You know what? It is, obviously we don't even have to mention it. There's no application. So the kids they pass the test and then they don't remember. So they don't know how to read a ruler. Not all of them. But so I have to do the ruler project first. Did you guys ever go on, I've never done it. Did you guys go on Teachers Pay Teachers?
I've gotten some great Spanish content from there. Teachers Pay Teachers gets a lot of shit because this is where some of my spam concern comes from, because what Teachers Pay Teachers will do is they'll take Duke's files and I'll go and sell Duke's files. And that's like one of the top things that comes up when they talk about Teachers Pay Teachers.
Oh, really?
The other thing is some of it's just glorified textbook. It's the same as a textbook or same as a stupid word search worksheet. And it's just full of junk. I got lucky with my Spanish stuff. The stuff I got for Spanish saved my ass as a Spanish teacher. And I would argue it's basically actually a huge inspiration for what I'm doing with Capable Maker, because this teacher wrote these plans, this curriculum. So I reference all her curriculum. You could argue it's scripted, but I would say it's really not, because it's just like pacing guide, lesson plans, activities. At the end of the day, I'm deciding which ingredients I use and which ones I don't. And it's just been a godsend. Like, it's made me enjoy teaching Spanish, which I didn't think I really ever would. And my students.
Oh, I remember you saying, I know it sounds funny that Barbercheck teaches Spanish, but that was part of the job.
Yeah.
They needed to fill the shoes, and they gave you 3 classes, shop class, 2 classes, a Spanish class.
Yeah, so I got some years I don't have to teach it. This year I teach 2 sections of it. Some years just 1 section of it.
And then the irony is that I teach in a 99% Spanish neighborhood, and I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah. And I don't even talk to a native. Like, I can't even tell you the last time I talked to a native speaker. And
then he works in a neighborhood that has no Spanish people, so they don't speak Spanish.
I'm the most fluent person, and I'm not even completely fluent.
So it's just it's ironic.
But it was content that was written by a teacher. It was a teacher who had time to write a curriculum for Spanish. It wasn't McGraw-Hill. It wasn't Pearson. It was this teacher. And so she, like, to Tim's point, knew how to write a good curriculum for teachers. Like, it was written with teachers in mind and the students in mind. And it's basically, I don't use a textbook at all for really any of my classes, but that's probably the closest equivalent I use to a textbook. And I'm just so grateful for it, because McGraw-Hill or Pearson never would have been able to offer that.
So here we are, just to give a little tour. I'm unfamiliar and kind of, so going off of what Duke said, you just look it up, and it's kind of like, it's not always what you think it's going to be. So here's Technology Project Middle School. And then this one's got 1.3 thousand 5-star reviews, and it's $4 for this Common Core English language worksheet, but like this is not, you don't build anything.
Yeah.
So it's like there it is. There's the dead end that Duke's talking about. You know? Okay, and this thing's like highly rated, but completely useless. I wouldn't use that. Then it's executive function skills. Again, not sure how that's related to building something with your hands or. So anyway, yeah, it's not straightforward even in the teachers pay teachers. I mean, maybe I'm not searching right. But
yeah, I've seen some career tech ed stuff in there, and most of it's kind of PowerPointy. You know, I think I've found some project plans in there. But I don't think we'll ever get like the search engine optimization that these people are getting, because we're always underrepresented. We're always under programmed for, right? Like we're always in the dark corner of the school building where they store the other junk, and we're the last to get our light bulbs replaced. Like whoever's running Teachers Pay Teachers is not going to optimize their search engine for the complexity of career and tech education. Like they're not going to know the inner workings of Matt Bloomquist's program as compared to Ron's program, and so they'll never be able to curate for you.
Okay,
now,
this is
Ron. Type in the word engineering, see what comes up. Because
okay, I'm gonna do that, but you just have to take a look at this for a second. You just have to see this. This is a word search for automotive, and they want $1 for it. Get out of here, bro. I'm never buying that.
There's probably teachers who have, though.
Oh my God. What is
2 ratings?
Does it?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. This is the person who made it?
Yeah.
Is that
2.3 thousand followers? Yeah.
Whoa. Can you see her most like what, how do you, can you see the most popular thing, that ratings and reviews?
I don't know.
Can you search by most downloaded or something? Oh, here we go. 150. Employment and career readiness. What would you do if? Yeah, these are all like, I mean,
There's workplace safety in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I saw workplace safety.
Yeah, don't learn safety by accident. All right, I am sure it's nice and it works for some people. I don't mean to rag on this person. That's great. I'm sorry, whoever you are. But and you seem very nice and you're very comprehensive here. But as far as actually doing something, like making something, which is what our class are, yeah, it's hard to find it. Okay, so how do I search, Tim? Sorry.
Just type in engineering, because I've seen like orthographic and isometric things pop up on here. Like I've done search for things like that, and it Google will bring you to Teachers Pay Teachers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Whoa. Ready for this? 28.9 thousand 5 stars for this. What is this? I can't even tell what's happening here. Oh, this is pre-K to 6th grade. All right, yeah, this is not going to help me. All right, I don't think anybody here either. I don't know. Oh, so can I put in high school? How do I do this? Oh, wait, 12. All right, I got to wait. 11, 10, 9. Where should I go? Duke, what year are you teaching there? How about 6? All right, we got it. We covered everybody. Okay. This thing's still in here. All right, how about this? Classroom jobs. All right. This is a name tags or something like that.
I've never done that.
No.
Have classroom jobs, and there's some teachers that swear by them. Like, you're the sweeper, and you're the chair putter upper, and you go wipe the floor down. I've never.
Yeah, the problem with that, it sounds like a job. It's a job to keep track of it,
Yeah, it is.
All right, here's a. Oh, this is for gifted and talented, so look out. This is a. This is a. Make a chair.
That's second grade.
I can't. Okay, this is all dead ends. All right, yeah. So, yeah, capable maker sooner than later.
Working on it.
All right, help us out, man, because you can't.
Let me ask you this though: do a lot of you run into the problem where that you come up with a project idea, but then you realize,
hey, Timmy, your mic was awesome before and a tiny bit loud. Now it's muffled. There's something wrong. Can you fix it? I don't know.
I haven't done anything.
It's what?
I haven't done anything.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead. It's totally muffled now. I don't know why. That's too bad. I want to hear you. Go ahead.
You guys run into the problem where you have a project idea, but then the middle school does that project.
I'm middle school. I'm the middle school and high school, so I don't have to worry about that.
Not really, because I don't have a tech ed at the middle school, so I have to do a quick. I basically the first month or two of my class is middle school class, because I teach them how to read a ruler, how to work with paper, how to work with cardboard, and then we get serious. So it's like an all-in-one class. I used to fight it. Now I'm just like, it's safer for me to teach a middle school level shop class for like the first month or two or quarter. Otherwise, it's dangerous to get a kid working on something that doesn't have a clue,
Yeah, like I've run into the situation where I can do a project where I have the capability of doing a project, but maybe another class does the same project. Like, for example, I would love to bring in we used to do solar power cars and then cars that would also run off the battery, and in my electronics class. But in our green energy course at my school, they do solar powered cars. So like, if you take both classes, now you're doing 2 solar powered cars. So now there's redundancy there. And I run into that situation. Like, you always want to try to one up. I hate to say it, somebody in your department, because you want to have the better project to get your kids to take your class.
Yeah, Barbercheck, just unmute yourself. Sorry, I was playing around with the mics to see what the problem was. There's like feedback. But it's nothing I can do.
Yeah, I shoot myself in the foot sometimes because, like, to simplify things, I'll teach the same project to my middle school and high school students. But then I can't run that project for another 6 years. Now I don't run into the issue. Like I know, like, obviously you want to have a project that appeals to students so that they do sign up for your class. I don't have competition for electives in that way. I have had, like, one thing that sucks about having basically the same cohort of students for 6 years or so is if, like, my CAD, like my kids don't get overly excited or ambitious about my CAD class. And they don't really sign up for it a lot because I've done honestly, I've done a shitty job of presenting it the past few years. I've done a shitty job of introducing it. Like, I can't just pass my sins off and like move on. Like kids still bring up lessons I've taught them 6 years ago. And so, like, I have to live with my sins forever. So, like, a lot of the students don't like CAD. Well, every time I introduced them to CAD, it was because it was when I was trying to learn Onshape myself because I couldn't get the internet to work, licenses to work for the other platforms. I couldn't get, when we finally did get Onshape to work, we still don't have like better than dial-up internet in my corner of the building. So when they use Onshape, it lags, it's slow, it's not that engaging. And then every time I've introduced it, like CAD, the best subject for me to teach because it's a subject that's somewhat more intuitive for me. So it's harder for me to like, it's taken a few years for me to realize like how much I need to break certain things down. Well, by then, all the kids are like, we hate CAD, Mr. Barbercheck. We just hate it, you know? And it's like, God damn it. You know what I mean? Like, I just fucked up. Like, give me a second chance here, you know? But once they decide something like that, it's usually stuck. So I don't have those issues, but with there is a set of issues that are similar. And, yeah, it can be frustrating.
Yeah, I could see what you're saying. Like,
well, Ron plays all your videos in his class, so apparently you're pretty popular there.
Is that why? I know when he's doing it too, because I always like my YouTube finally gets notifications. I'm like, oh, Ron's teaching with my videos again.
Dude, they're really good. One day I was like, I just need these kids to learn XYZ. I'm not gonna make 20 videos, and I'm like, wait a minute. And then I see Barbercheck already did 20 lessons, and I'm like, playlist, here you go. Barbercheck, boom. They love you. They love you. You're like a celebrity.
I need to tell my they need to meet with my students and tell them that, because my students just like,
oh well, that's the neighborhood thing. Like, no one cares about you if you're from there, but if you're not from, like, right. Jimi Hendrix wrote a song about this called Voodoo Child. They don't want you in the neighborhood. You leave, you do great, and then you come back and you're all of a sudden a celebrity. They're like, oh, we knew him when. Yeah, okay.
It's funny.
But yeah, so sometimes like I obviously can't do I don't do any wood shop projects because that'll overlap. And then I also don't do I want to do some robotic stuff, automation stuff, but I can't really do that because the other guys got it, you know. So I might introduce it, whatever, but I'm not going to do a whole automation lesson because they got a robotics teacher. And then as far as architecture goes, we have so we got 4 people we got 4 teachers. So it's pretty well spread out. The only thing I think we're missing is there's no house electronic, like house or building wiring guy. The wood shop guy is starting to do the contracting stuff as well, but still. But yeah, so Tim, you come across stuff where you'll be doing a lesson and they're like, yeah, we already did that. Okay.
Yeah,
so there's
some of those short one-day activities that I used to do, and they worked out well. And then they would say, well, we did this already in the middle school. And the vertical articulation is not the best. And that's where you run into the situation where now I'm taking a gamble. If I do this toothpick thing, how's that going to work? Or if I do a note card activity, how's that going to work? And sometimes you hit them and you find out like, hey, that was good. The kids never did it before. Or it's like, hey, we did this already. So those type of things are, you know, it's a gamble if you don't have the vertical articulation. And, you know, you don't want to step on somebody else's toes, but sometimes it does happen, especially in a program where you have a middle school and a high school.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And so, yeah, capable maker, I think would be pretty good. This thing here, I'm just going back to this for a second. This is the #1 thing that came up for here. If I typed in automotive and then I put it based on ratings, this is 355 stars. You click on it and it's like a word thing again. So, and the thing about, I don't know, I teach maybe differently than some other people, but I'm not into memorization or word cards or anything like that. I treat the kids like spies. They're on a need to know basis. You know, if you give them information like beyond what they need for that day or week, it's like someone asking for a glass of water and you overfill it. It's just going to spill all over the place. You're not going to be able to catch it, and you're the one who's wasting your water. You know, save it. You got to know when. It would be like a comedian that kills and then adds more stuff. Just let it kill. Just let that joke sit there. You got to know when to pace out your, when you first start teaching, everybody's like, oh my God, you're trying to get as much in as possible. That's just not, they're like sponges every day that you fill them up and can't, So anyway, yeah, this thing's not going to work. We need capable maker, damn it.
On it.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, on your capable maker, I mean, right now I would say it's tailored more towards woodshop, I would say, just for lack of a better word. Yep. Now, are you looking to add an engineering component, like an automotive component? Are you looking to add, say a building trades component? Like, are those things that are like down the pike, in this whole program? Or is it, it's just kind of keep it more wood shop or, that kind of thing?
Yeah, totally. So the end goal is to have a breadth of the topics that we teach covered. So it would go and have an application for building trades classes and automotive. I think by nature it'll have some strengths starting out. Like I think probably, and I'll probably do woodworking because that's where it's easier to find woodworking plans than metalworking plans. It's one of the more common shop programs out there. It's one of the more accessible. And so it'll kind of have that higher impact start and kind of give us a little bit of tunnel vision so we don't get too scatterbrained too quickly. But the end goal would be, yeah, here's and possibly even like I have this broken down into phases. In phase 9, I have where it's not a project plan so much as maybe it's a well-defined community problem. And so at that point, you could match that problem up to a student who has earned certain credentials, and it's more open-ended. We need to increase transportation in, Countyville County or whatever. And so then a team of students could choose to take that on. So that's like really far down the road. But
so they're like design situations or like problem situations.
A good design prompt for the designer students. And then so there would be some design, some engineering, some building trades challenges like the game maybe that we were just looking at for building trades, automotive challenges as well. Maybe it's the type of thing where we end up working closely with like ASE and their requirements, and that's housed in one spot maybe. And then student, like part of it, which we didn't go into too much, part of it is not just project curation based off of equipment, but also like student proficiency. And so this will track student proficiencies as they go. And they'll be able to maybe unlock more automotive challenges, or it could house that type of thing. So the brainstorms definitely happen to like how far can we spread our fingers here, and how many industrial tech, industrial arts shop, career tech ed teachers can we serve? Starting out for a while, it's probably going to be strictly woodworking, and then we'll ladder up in complexity there. Metalworking probably next, and then get away from the more recipe style type works, and then maybe more of the troubleshooting and diagnostics type work like automotive or whatnot.
I was just searching up. It's interesting. This teachers pay teachers. I would like to interview. Like, how do you search by most popular sales team or person? So, like, for instance, here's One Stop Teacher Shop, and she's got like 179,000 votes. It would be interesting to talk with this person about what it would be good to find out, because they probably could shed some light on what they think of capable maker if there was something you're interested in. And then if not, maybe just in general, like, what is the flow of information? Like, what are people searching for? This is probably good resources here. The only thing I don't understand is, like, when I look for it, like, I'm just still vibing off of what Duke said. Like, go ahead, try and find a lesson. You know, like it's not easy. I still think teachers, I still think cable maker is like super important. But you see here, this is a teacher planner, and that's $18. And you're like, what? I'll just keep my own calendar. But this has 37.7 thousand ratings at 5-star. Oh no, let's see. 43,000 5 stars.
You know, and another thing I think about, you know, with Barbercheck doing the Capable Maker and having that project warehouse, I think a lot of us shop teachers now have turned to Instagram as their inspiration. Like I know I have. Like when you see a project and you screenshot it, or you see a concept that somebody's doing, and you either message them, private message them, and you get information from them. I know that's been good. And when I was coming up with that summer program, I touched base with what's his name, the gentleman, Roy Pistolio. You know, I talked to him about doing a project, and he wanted to do, or he said I should do like a carving project with veneers. And when I looked at it, I'm thinking, well, I don't have veneers, or I have a limited amount of veneers, and making the veneers is going to be out of my level. So, you know, I think looking at Instagram is a good spot to kind of look for projects too. So if you could tie the Capable Maker in with the Instagram people, I think that would also, you know, benefit everybody.
Yeah, for it to be a house of inspiration too, because again, it takes a lot of mental bandwidth to creatively think. Like, I honestly think it's one of the pinnacle of a design challenge. If you ask me to design you a home, I can do it. If you ask me to design you even a vehicle, I could probably figure something out. But designing a project for a group of students, sometimes who you've never met, around equipment that you don't know will be repaired or maintained, around all the constraints we have as teachers, it's a very tough challenge. Is it a project that someone's already done before? Does it have a high ceiling if I need to raise the ceiling? Does it have a lower floor if I need to lower the floor to reach the students? And so it's kind of the pinnacle of design. And my big thing is when we utilize all that energy, that creativity, that all that problem solving, all that designing, you know, it starves us of brain power that we could be using during our in-person instruction. You know, that deep thinking is the same deep thinking you need to be doing when you're working with a student and trying to figure out where they're at, or why they're having a bad day, or why their technique is so goofy. And human beings can only do, like, our brain power is finite. Like, we can only do 4 or 5 hours of that a day, but we're asking our teachers to do way more. And so my thing is, yeah, maybe it's a source for a cookie cutter project because that's what you need, or maybe it's a source for inspiration where you're shopping through pictures and it, you know, gives you your light bulb moment that you want.
Yeah, like I saw this gentleman the other day. Like that, I would have loved to have that. Yeah,
I randomly picked this. You've seen this?
Yeah, this was on there the other day. I didn't message him, but that's a great idea for teaching small engines.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was talking to him. I don't, like I said, I wasn't talking, but like that was something that I thought about doing when I was teaching small engines. And I was almost at that point before I left at my school. I was almost at that point to have something similar to that, but
yeah,
it just didn't happen.
Good.
You know, and another thing is, like, to go along with the whole Instagram thing, first off, today I was looking at my safety glasses cabinet, and I literally looked at it and I said, I wonder how many people have actually leashed the key to the cabinet. And I said, you know what? Let me take a picture of that. And I posted it on Instagram today saying, inside the shop. You know, I have the key leashed to my cabinet with a lanyard because that works for me. You know, how many people have thought of that? You know, how many times have you lost the key? Does anybody have the key? Do you need, you know, or you have the key? Well, I don't have to have the key. The last one to put in their safety glasses shuts it, locks it, and turns the dial on the side. I don't have to do that. And the key's there.
That stuff, Instagram's been sweet for that. I'm glad you're putting it out there because it's like some of the information I wish I would have had as a new teacher is starting to get out there, and that's really helpful. Mine is a red light, like on a timer for cleanup.
Oh, yeah.
I like, that's my bit. And every time I share it, people are like, "Ooh, that's a great idea. I'm stealing it." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, steal it." Cause I stole it. Damn it. So
yeah,
you steal it too, if you want to, you know? And
I think if we start doing that, like, you know, I'm looking at a project or I'm looking at something in my shop that I think works really well. Hey, I'll take a picture of it and post it up. Like, this is how I have my router bits organized. And you know what? To a bunch of people, it'll just be a bunch of router bits and a piece of pegboard. But it works for me.
Totally.
You know, and somebody else could be like, damn, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that. You know?
Oh, this is a board.
What do you mean, Matt? Like a police siren light?
Yeah, it's cool. It's this red light, and I bought this like digital timer, and I pre-programmed it to go off 5 minutes before the end of the bell for every class, and then it just goes off, and which is sweet because the kids aren't always the problem. Sometimes I'm the problem. I forget that it's time to clean up, and so they go ahead and the light turns on. I don't have to be nagging anybody. I don't have to be yelling. I don't have to remember. I don't have to watch the clock. Like, it's there for me just as much as it is them. It turns on. The rule is the red light's on. You have to be cleaning. You know, that's just the rule. And we clean, and then the red light turns off. I do my inspections of their cleanup zones, and then I just dismiss them, and then la-di-da, we're good to go.
Where do you find that? Is that a product?
I kind of jerry-rigged one up. I just bought a red siren light from Amazon. It ended up having the siren be obnoxiously loud, so I like disconnected it. And then I just got the timer from Menards. It had like an outlet on one side, an outlet on the other side. Then it just had these buttons like you would program an old school digital watch. And you could do like 20 on-off cycles. But don't even get the siren if it's not accessible. Just get a weird colored light bulb. Like I've done that a couple times, where just get like a blue light or a green light bulb. You know, you can find those at Menards too. And then just plug in like a lamp. And when the green lamp goes off, it's time to clean up. And then the nice thing is, I say it goes off, but I mean it turns on, is with it having a it turns on, and then it runs for 5 minutes, and then it turns off, and then the kids know, okay, I need to clean up, you know, and get my cleanup tools up. And that's super helpful because then it, like, instead of them like cleaning until they think they're done, it's like, nope, you clean when the lamp's on. And then what I do is I say, if they're really good at cleanup, I start crunching the time down. So I say, all right, we're going to 4 minutes. You guys have earned an extra minute of shop time. May not sound like much, but every day it adds up, and you guys want the shop time. 3 minutes. You know, my record's like 2 minutes. I've had students who could go, they get their zones, boom, 2 minute cleanups. And then sometimes I usually it's between 2 and then 6 minutes is usually. If 6 minutes, if they're not getting their zones cleaned in 6 minutes, they're just not cleaning, and we just have to reteach that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is cool stuff. You know, it's just amazing that
that's
like,
something you could put on that capable maker too, like cleanup duties or cleanup responsibilities, or, you know,
management
theories. Yeah, management. That's something good.
I think you said that was a low priority, right?
Low priority, but on the list. And a lot of this is just systemization, right? You know, can we systemize some of these things that could work from classroom to classroom, so and establish this cleanup light as a best practice? Maybe. Obviously, it doesn't work for everybody, and that's fine. But if it's a best practice that we can make more people aware of sooner, or whether it's you know, certain types of scaffolding, whether it's the rulergame.net, but these kind of like pro teacher tips or whatever that we kind of, you know, they never would have taught us in college. They never will. You know, we've just learned from the school of hard knocks. and we can save somebody else the brain power, plus get a few good ideas in exchange. Heck yeah.
I don't know if you know, but shop class is actually the idea of learning how to shop for shoes. It's the same hashtag.
Got shop for class, man. That is some high class heels.
But look at Ron, you found more stuff shop related in 5 minutes on Instagram than you did on 20 on the website. On the World Web.
That's true. Yeah.
You know what? That's a great point. 100%. Yeah.
And it's a project warehouse because you can see a project that somebody's done and then you can ramp it up or bring it down. You know, like we were just talking about. It's easy to do that because, you know, and 90% of the time, like go back, like that picture that's right there that Ron has. Like
this one?
No, go back to the other one.
This one?
No, the other one.
This one.
The other one.
This one.
That one.
The
that
shoes.
one. Like
the shoes.
No, not the shoes. But like Ron already has those shoes. That's why he found them.
He made them.
See, I'm not looking at those 4 kids in that picture. I'm actually looking at the stuff in the back.
Yeah.
Like I'm that guy.
100%.
I'm that guy that's saying, how do they have those clamps organized? And you know, why are there vice grips hanging that way? And would that work in my roof? You know, those are the things that I'm looking at.
You know, if I used to look at the background of Barbercheck's shop all the time, I was always amazed. He basically makes, I mean, like, not trying to speak for you, but it basically, you know, Barbercheck makes projects out of the organization. And it's like, oh my God, it's so good. I don't know if I could pull up some of those.
Yeah, that's way back there. I quit posting on Instagram because you and Tim were stalking me too much there.
Look at this. Someone's got a throwback to shop class 07. Me and my buddy Tyler working on the Oli.
Awesome. And when I was in school, nobody had a camera.
No. That wasn't
no pictures of me in shop class.
High school kids got some quality work experience today, pouring a new pad at the PLC. Yeah. I mean, I don't know anything about concrete, like nothing. But I don't know. Maybe this would inspire me, and then, but there's no lesson behind it. I don't have the plans. But maybe we should pour something. I've never poured anything.
That's Bloomquist. He's got it.
Yeah.
Say we're working on pouring foundation right now.
Dude. So how do you do that? You know, like, where's your lessons? How come I can't go on Capable Maker and, you know?
Well, lessons, they work with a 50-year-old veteran, that like a concrete veteran guy.
Oh.
That's hard-nosed, stubborn, and
that's all? That's all you got to
do? Yeah. Concrete, you hurry up and wait. That's all you got to know.
Great start to the year. Kid with a screwdriver. Oh, whoa. Tire machine. Concrete, baby. Oh, welding. Holy schmoly. This is serious. That's it.
I got to get going.
All right.
I got to get my beauty sleep in and stuff. So,
all right. Capable Maker, baby.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to all my spiels. If you guys want to, you know, any more questions or anything comes up or you click around, whatever, you know, get a hold of me. I'm making it for you guys, so don't be bashful.
Nice.
So, all right, I'll catch you guys later.
All right, talk to you soon. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what we could do? Maybe we could do a round table of the beginning of the, like, how everything's going, and then we'll end the recording there and do casual. What's Matt, you want to tell us what's going on with the house?
Yeah, so I think the house that we finished is they're in negotiations with the, you know, back and forth with sale prices and offers and stuff. So they're taking care of that. And then the new house, like I said, we've been working on the foundation. We had a rain day yesterday, but probably by the mid next week we'll start framing. We got the
you guys
T-studs.
here, like, is
Yeah, so right there, Kevin Hamill, the guy in the sleeveless shirt. He's one doing the concrete with us. He's a concrete guy. He's been doing it since he's like 10 years old. He's like second or third generation concrete. He's 60, man. He's in his 60s.
Wow. And he's badass.
Yeah. Like, but yeah, no, the kids, it's kind of cool. We didn't do this last house. So, and it's one of those things where I've only helped a little bit on concrete, like when it comes to foundation work. So it's been kind of fun for me, even learning some new things. And it definitely will put us, we're going to be pushing to be able to hold temporary heat inside a house by winter, but I guess you'll have to bundle up and put on your Carhartts. Yeah, and then the pictures showing the sidewalk. We did a little good community service. We had scraped the sidewalks out in front of Barbercheck, and if you look down the road, you can see down there it clears off. Well, the kids are like, "Man, the neighbor's sidewalk looks rough now compared to ours." So I was like, and we were waiting. The concrete guys had to go get material and stuff. I was like, "Well, screw it. You guys go grab the shovels and stuff and go scrape off the driveway or the sidewalks for them." So they did another half a block worth of sidewalks real quick. And the kids were like, "Oh, man, we're getting good." I was like, "You better be careful. They're going to start pimping us out." And sure as hell, the mayor drives by. "Hey, boys, looking good." So, and then everybody on Facebook.
I can't believe.
Go ahead, Ron.
Can't believe the difference. Can't believe the difference. Look at this. It doesn't even look like, I thought it was just slabs.
Yeah, stepping stones or something.
Yeah, like we found out the sidewalks were way wider than we thought they were. And the mailman in this neighborhood is one of my buddies from I always said grade school, and he's like, "Oh," he goes, "I thought the neighbors finally did it. I was gonna tell them thank you." I was like, "Nope, that was the kids." He's like, "You told the kids, oh my God, guys, this is so much better." He's like, "You're not catching toes because those weeds, they grow out of the cracks, but they grow out. Well, if you catch your toe on them, they flip up because they're not grabbed a hold of anything." And he's like, "That is so much nicer to walk on." And like everybody on Facebook's like, "Oh, come to our neighborhood." I'm like, no.
Running a landscape.
Yeah. Although I guess if I rounded up a handful of kids, I could probably run get a city contract to go around and make a nice chunk of change. Because technically it's a city property, but the homeowner is responsible for the part out front. So, but yeah, we helped out. And I had one of the neighbors reached out to me on Facebook thanking us for it. I've never met her or anything, but super grateful. So it was one of those things where, we had some spare time. It took the kids about 40 minutes. They wanted to do something. So it was like, hey, go crazy. So we're definitely ready to start framing though, just so it's busy work all the time. Like right now we're kind of on the mercy of what's going on with concrete guy. So if he needs our extra hand, or if he needs 3 kids to help, then we help. If he needs everybody, then they help. If not, today, the morning class, we cleaned out the tool trailer and the mobile classroom and just needed a cleaning out and reorganization. This picture right here, this was awesome. Brian Iverson, the owner of T-Stud, actually it's like U.S. Engineer or something, CEO. We're working with them using the T-Studs for our framing, and he stopped by and talk about a awesome teaching moment opportunity. I mean, you got CEO that is multi-millionaire. He is a inventor. He has ADD. He's talking to the kids about having ADD. He goes, use it as a superpower, guys. He's like, get all the crap out of your head, put down the video game, let all these crazy ideas run through your head, and just go try stuff. And the kids were asking the questions like what kind of grades he got in school. And he's like not good ones. They're like, when did you come up with your first idea? He goes, when I was 17. And I was like, how old are you guys? And they're like 16, 17. Like, there you go. He's like, they're asking him like, what's your advice to us right now? He's like, go do as many things as you can do. Like, he goes, have 7 jobs, get fired from a couple of them, see what that feels like. He's like, experience everything. Let somebody teach you how to use the cash register at McDonald's and figure out why you're doing this and maybe how you should be doing something better. Or it's just random rambling off like things. The kids were just like, oh my gosh, like they're like, so what do you? How do you how do you make your $1 million and stuff? He's like, you get up on a box, tell everybody what you're gonna do. He's like, turn around, you're gonna look behind you, nobody's gonna follow you, so you gotta go out and do it by yourself. Then as soon as you make your money, then you can pay all the rest that's for following you to do it for you.
Yeah.
The dude was awesome. Like, he was telling the kids, no, you just got to do it, man.
That's cool, man.
Take the ideas and run with them.
Yeah. I'm always amazed at this situation with the foundation. Like, it's just literally just a little hole in the ground.
Yeah, so this is what you're looking at. There's a third of our foundation. The other two sides will have slabs. But yeah, we put plastic in there. It rained. It turned into a miniature pool. We had to run we had to drop the pump in and pump out today.
Wait, so this is the deepest part. The rest are going to be not as deep. Is that why?
Yeah. Yep. The rest will have a slab that comes in and ties into it. It makes more sense once you see the full picture. But down that
so this doesn't have like there's no basement.
Yeah, it's not like. No, this is just going to be a crawl space. It's going to be very similar to the basement, just short, only like 4 foot deep. But all the plumbing and bathrooms and everything are right above this area. So we have to run like 2 or 3 water lines to the kitchen, 1 drain line to the kitchen. That will be underneath the concrete slabs. Everything else is right down that middle chute, and then it also acts as a storm shelter for the homeowner.
Oh, good idea. I can't believe how small that is.
Do you have to insulate that?
Yeah, we did. We put insulation, rock wool hooked us up, and we put comfort board on the bottom. And then we have a drainage tile around it and everything to a sub pump pit. And we put rock wool comfort board down, and then Stego wrap hooked us up. Stego hooked us up with the plastic, that yellow plastic you see right in the picture. And we just laid that down, so that's a moisture barrier. And then they'll out in that crawl space will actually have a 4-inch concrete slab poured in it. So when we're working there, we can pull around on car creepers and all that kind of stuff, or little cars on wheels or something as we're working on plumbing and stuff. So it'll be pretty nice.
Oh, you put the rock wool down.
So there's the insulation. Yep. So there's the insulation.
There you go, Tim.
And then we'll put insulation up the walls. And
that's kind of what I was asking about, up the walls.
What's this little thing here?
We'll middle here. Walls, yeah. That's a sump pump pit.
Sump pump.
Oh.
Yeah. There's drainage tiles that go in there. That'll be underneath the slab.
Is this a burn test?
Yeah, we're showing kids that it won't. You can sit there and char it all you want, but it won't continue burning. It's
cool. This is great. And you just cut it with a knife.
Yeah, they give you these things. They call them boards, but pretty much all they are is bread knives. Cuts right through them.
Nice.
It's wonderful product to work with. I'm so glad I got hooked up with those guys. They're great people, great company, but the product it's nice to work with. Everything I've used from them so far has been great.
That's awesome.
Is that cool? Is that the same stuff that the rock wool that people use in the hydroponic system?
It's similar. It's probably treated with stuff, but it's the same rock wool. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Let's go around the room a little. Duke, what's going on with your beginning of the year?
Oh, crazy. Bus driver shortage. So teachers are covering all kind of classes. Like I did like 1.5 classes today. So like it sucks for us because we're in the shop. And you got to prepare everything, get materials ready. You can't do anything because you're covering classes. No, I'm at that other school now. Open up that JTL one. I didn't put too much stuff on there.
Oh,
but
okay. What? Okay. Which one is that? You have a different Instagram? Is that what it is?
Yeah, because I was at 2 schools last year for the past couple years. Now I'm at 1 school.
Oh, okay. Which
I'm not at
type
the
in?
Lehman school anymore. I'm at the JTL.
JTL? Like this? This?
I don't know. I can't see it.
Yeah. Oh, is it this one? No, this is not you.
You're
right?
not sharing your screen there, Keith.
Oh, I'm sorry. Shh. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. This is it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yeah, so I went for coffee after last week's episode. The kids are finally working in the shop, so I posted that up there.
Nice.
And as soon as that started, we're getting near the 22 day, so we're gonna rotate kids again, like we have those half semesters.
Oh. This is. Oh yeah, coffee. That's good. That's funny. Yeah, 9/11. Mantis, baby.
Yep, there it is.
Trades. Cool.
And that's back to summertime. I don't even have time to post stuff. It's
Yeah. I haven't posted much either. I just do the stories lately.
It's a whirlwind, and I want to get like my after school stuff going because everybody's trying to do that now after a year of being shut down. And I'm just like I said earlier, I just feel like I'm get farther and farther behind.
Yeah, it's tough. You have a tight schedule, 22 days.
Yep. This is the first time I started writing stuff down in a calendar because it just seems like I got this going on this day, this going on this day, this going on this time. Like I went from a meeting from here, 7 o'clock, 7 to now, then I met up with you guys. I've been in this chair since 7 o'clock.
Oh my God. All right. Nick, what's going on?
Well, my woodworking kids are actually wanting to do stuff. So it's kind of refreshing.
Really?
I have 2 classes of technical drawing, and as of late, they've been putting more and more 9th graders in there. So they are in there just for art credit mainly and an elective credit. So our cutoff date here is coming up, so we'll see how small my classes get. But overall, it's interesting having different dynamics in the room with either this or this with the mask.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
but I've been getting into, for Makers Camp, the what do you call it, vacuum forming, or not vacuum forming, using cactus juice to impregnate wood for the pin blanks I'm going to be doing. So that'll be interesting to show the kids that.
Oh, what do you use? You use a vacuum bag to impregnate wood with resin or something?
Yeah, it's a heat activated resin.
Oh, that's cool.
You vacuum chamber the wood, and it's, it sucks all the air out, and then when you release the vacuum, it sucks the resin inside the wood. And then you bake the wood to catalyze it and harden it up. So.
Wow, that's interesting. You could make like a super material, like a composite, but using wood. And it's already got the structure there. That's pretty cool. Interesting.
So you can put dye into that resin, and then it sucks that dye into the wood. So
okay.
You have the figuring and the color.
That's interesting. Are you going to do that for Maker Camp?
Yeah, but learn for that, and then show the kids. And
all right. Yeah. Timmy, what are you working on over there in the beginning of the year?
Well, we've been in school now a month. Right now we got my biggest situation is, and I'm sure other people are in the same spot, where I got kids that were remote. I got kids that were hybrid. I got kids that were in a partial year of woodshop. And then I have kids that were in a full year woodshop. So I have all mixture of ability levels. And my biggest thing is it's very difficult to do, like, I guess, to segregate them. Like, if you were hybrid, you're over here. If you were remote, you were over here. If you were, in Woods 1 and you went in quarantine in March 2020, you're over here. I have a problem with doing that. So I've been finding myself reteaching a lot of the safety that they would have had previously. And unfortunately, like Barbercheck was saying earlier, yeah, you're reteaching, but I'm also teaching to the middle. So I'm losing the kids that are, that know all this stuff, and the kids that are under it are hopefully picking some of it up. So I'm in that situation where you can never be wrong by doing too much safety. So especially in the woodshop world, I'm trying to have, have them work, but yet also covering that. Like, I have a checklist that I use, or I actually just started implementing this year. And in researching what kids have taken in the past, I realized that in this Woods 3 class that they would be in, none of them have had the joiner, believe it or not, safety. And that's usually something they cover in Woods 1. And, now they're in Woods 3 and they haven't had the joiner. They haven't had the planer. So the other day, I'm doing joiner and planer safety because it needed to get done.
Yeah.
And I assumed that they had it. And the problem was I wasn't up to date on paperwork at the time, and I didn't know that. And then when 3 or 4 kids said, hey, we've never done that before, I'm like, okay, well, I guess we have to do that. So that's what I'm doing. But I got kids right now making the picture frames. They're doing inlay picture frames. I have a kid pouring resin, in an inlay picture.
Cool. I'm going to show it right now.
Yeah, which turned out really cool.
I had that ready to go.
Sorry for my shoddy camera work.
Oh, it's fine. Looks cool.
So we're doing that. That was something different that I've never done before. We've never done. And then in my Woods 2 class, we started designing end grain cutting boards, and we started going over table saw safety and things like that. So it is really interesting to get back into the to the routine, if you will.
What's this called? Resaw?
Yeah, that's a resaw machine. That's a resaw bandsaw. I don't have a resaw blade. I just have a big blade on it. But I just bought that jig from Carter's, and I had some sassafras, so I was just milling some of it up. And
why do they call it? This is naive. Why do they call it resaw when it's like you're taking it? Okay, it was cut from the tree, and now you're making it into something usable. Why are you resawing it? Aren't you sawing it for the first time? The size off the tree?
This is milling because you're milling it from a log. Resawing is taking a piece of lumber and making it thinner via the bandsaw.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I call this the resaw bandsaw because that's what we use that for. So yeah, I mean, Nick is right. It is. I am actually milling the lumber there.
Got it. Okay,
So,
now I understand.
Yeah.
Once it's milled, if you cut it again, that's a resaw.
Yeah.
Got it.
So,
Okay.
I mean, we just got that. So, we had some extra, I don't want to say we had some extra money, but, there were some supplies that we didn't need to order. So I ordered some of those things that I'm like, hey, that would be cool to have.
Thanks, BloomQuest.
See you, Bloomy.
All right.
So I got that. I got that sawmill, which was pretty neat. The sawmill jig.
Nice.
Yeah,
That
I
is
have
pretty cool.
a old fridge from here, and I have it in my classroom now, but we converted it into a refrigerator kiln. So I'll bring in pieces of firewood that I split that have interesting grain, and I'll put them in there. They'll dry in about 3 months. And it's usable lumber, that will mill down.
That's cool.
Yeah, that log has been in my classroom for probably a year. So it's just air dried, but it's air dried inside.
Yeah.
Do you have to do anything? Do you have to have a different blade when you're cutting resin with or you just do the resin goes with the wood?
I just use a multi-purpose blade, a combination blade. So because we were cutting the resin, what I ended up doing was I disconnected the saw from the dust collector because it was resin, and all of our sawdust goes to a farm. So I was trying not to, I guess, pollute the sawdust with the resin. Now there is stuff that gets in it, but I was just trying to cut some of the bigger stuff out of it. So I hooked it up to a separate vacuum.
I see. Okay.
But I've never done, like, we resawed off the, like, right here, the...
Oh, you're facing it in a way.
Yeah. So I just did that on the table saw because I didn't want it to go through the planer. I could control the chips better. Mm-hmm. So that's why we did it that way.
That's cool. Did it come out good?
Yeah, off the blade, it turned out pretty good for what it is, with no finish on it. You know, no prep. There's no prep on it really, except just that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, stuff comes up. Drum sander is really easy though.
Yeah, Tim, how much do you plan on sanding that?
I talked to the kid. I told him, I said, listen, that stuff's got to get sanded. And he said he knows because it said his father does it. His father gave us his father let him bring in the epoxy. So we'll end up having to do a lot of palm sanding. I don't plan on running that through the drum sander because I know it will gum that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably run it through the planer. What do you think about the planer?
Well, I was going to run it through the planer, but like I said, I didn't want it going into the dust collector because of the animals.
Yeah. Because I was talking to BJ about it because he made like those river tables. He has the whole. Remember we were talking to him about terrazzo. Then he was talking about making those the molds for it, where you outer the top and everything, set them in there. He says he starts with like 36 grit and goes all the ways up to 4,000.
Yeah, we're gonna hit that. I'm gonna have the kid hit that with a palm sander at probably 80 right now to start, and then we'll go. And I tell the kids at that stage on their picture frame, they should have that blank, kind of sanded up to about 150. And then we'll cut all the miters. We'll cut the rabbit. We'll cut the rabbit. Then we'll route the edges, and then we'll cut the miters. So then a lot of their sanding will be done, and the rest of the sanding is just going to be touch up.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with that.
In the past,
I've never done it. So
I've stopped at like 320, and then just had them use plastic coat stuff, to bring out the shine. And it's been plenty for the kids' projects, but you can go higher and then use a buffer, auto buffer, to, clean up the resin. But I think 320 and you'll be fine on that picture frame.
Yeah, for kids in the shop, that's probably fine. Like 4,000, he's trying to sell them at craft shows,
they got to reflect the person's.
Yeah.
I mean, you could cheat and only sand to 220 and then spray it with lacquer, and it'll look beautiful. So
cool.
Yeah, we may do that too.
Some kids, some classes I get, they love sanding. Some classes I get, they can't stand it.
Yeah.
So that's the wood shop end of it. And then the engineering side of it, I got electronics. I got a semester of electronics. And ironically, my class was really small. It had like 7 kids to start the school year. 1 dropped, so then there was 6. And then they added 5 new kids have been added within the past 2 weeks. So I've been playing catch up with that.
I hate when they send down kids out of nowhere.
Yeah. And some of them came in from out of district, which, you can't do anything about that.
Sure.
But, you're playing catch up. So now we've covered all the safety. We've covered all basic information stuff. We've covered, how a breadboard works. We've done all that already. And then now I'm trying to have to keep them up along with keeping the kids ahead where they should be. And that's very challenging. It really is.
Look at this. Full electric. Okay. All right. Well, let's end the recording there. That was a good Barbercheck catch up, Capable Maker, roundtable update. Next week we're gonna have Joanne. She's a like a 35-year manufacturing veteran of. I think she's an engineer plus also recruiting. She does a lot of placement for women in manufacturing. So that's actually going to be pretty good. All right, let's end it there. Shop Class Podcast. See you guys Wednesdays. Okay.